What's worse than watching your team lose year after year? Knowing the person responsible is sitting comfortably in a luxury box, profiting off your disappointment. Some NFL owners have turned once proud franchises into laughingstocks, putting profit ahead of winning. The worst part? They rarely sell, leaving fans stuck in a never-ending cycle of mediocrity. From greedy decisions to baffling choices, these owners have driven their teams and their loyal fan bases into the ground. So why does this keep happening? Stick around as we dive into the NFL's most hated owners. Trust me, this one's going to hit a nerve. NFL team owners have a significant impact on the success or failure of their franchises. As the key decision makers, they oversee everything from hiring coaches and general managers to shaping the team's culture and long-term vision. Owners who prioritize winning, invest in the right talent, create a positive environment, and make decisions that build competitive teams. On the other hand, owners focused on profits or making poor management choices can undermine a team's performance, leading to struggles on the field. Beyond the roster, owners also influence fan engagement, stadium experiences, and the overall brand of the team. A disconnected or unpopular owner can alienate both players and fans, damaging morale and loyalty. In the end, the direction set by an NFL owner can determine whether a franchise enjoys sustained success or consistently falls short of its potential. NFL owners wield significant control over their franchises, shaping everything from team culture to key operational decisions. Their financial power allows them to hire and fire GMs, coaches, and executives, often driven by a focus on short-term results. Owners also influence strategic decisions, such as building new stadiums or relocating teams, which can boost revenue and fan engagement. Many owners further profit from hosting events like concerts at their stadiums. This control highlights their crucial role in determining a team's long-term success and financial health. NFL owners rarely sell their teams due to the immense profitability, prestige, and increasing market value of franchises. Even under poor performance, these valuable assets generate strong financial returns, reducing the incentive to sell. This preference for long-term ownership can trap fans under poor leadership for decades, as seen with Mike Brown of the Bengals and Dan Snyder of the Commanders. Brown has led the Bengals to just 8 winning seasons in 30 years, with no playoff victories, while Snyder's tenure saw the Commanders plagued by mismanagement and a 164-220 and 2 ties record. Despite these struggles, high franchise profitability diminishes the urgency to make changes, leaving fans frustrated. While long-term ownership offers stability, it often perpetuates poor decision-making and limits a team's success. In the NFL, some owners prioritize financial gain over building a successful team, focusing on revenue from stadium deals, sponsorships, and non-football events instead of investing in player talent and coaching. This profit-driven approach often leads to cost-cutting measures, impacting team performance. While owners profit from tickets, broadcast rights, and merchandise, fans are left frustrated as their teams underperform, creating a disconnect between financial priorities and the desire for a competitive team.
So the Redskins is the talk of the town.
The National Football League may be getting more comfortable with the names Milstein and Snyder. The NFL's Finance Committee meets in Miami later this week to discuss the sale of the Redskins franchise. The Washington Post reports the 8-member committee is now leaning toward accepting the Milstein-Snyder.
Dan Snyder is widely considered one of the worst NFL owners due to his mismanagement of the Washington Commanders. Under his ownership, the team posted a poor record and only a 2-6 postseason record. His tenure was marred by constant turnover of coaches, poor decision-making, and controversies, leading to instability within the organization. Snyder also faced allegations of misconduct, with investigations revealing a toxic workplace culture marked by bullying and sexual harassment. Despite fan protests, he resisted selling the team until 2023, when mounting pressure forced him to sell to Josh Harris, offering fans hope for a fresh start. Dean Spanos, owner of the Los Angeles Chargers, faced heavy backlash after relocating the team from San Diego to Los Angeles in 2017, prioritizing financial gain over fan loyalty. The Chargers, a San Diego fixture since 1961, had a passionate fan base that felt abandoned by the move. Despite aiming for a larger media market, the team struggled to build a following in Los Angeles, with lower attendance and lingering resentment from San Diego fans. Spanos's decision highlighted the conflict between profit and loyalty, further damaging his reputation as an NFL owner. Jerry Jones, owner and GM of the Dallas Cowboys, has significantly boosted the franchise's profitability, making it one of the world's most valuable sports teams through a state-of-the-art stadium, marketing, and sponsorships. However, his hands-on approach in football decisions, such as player acquisitions and coaching hires, has sparked debate. Despite major investments in stars like Dez Bryant and Ezekiel Elliott, the Cowboys have struggled in the playoffs, failing to advance past the divisional round, leading many fans to blame Jones's interference for the team's inconsistent performance. Mike Brown, owner of the Cincinnati Bengals, has been criticized for his frugal approach to team management, frustrating fans despite recent successes. Known for minimal spending on free agents and hesitance to raise player salaries, the Bengals struggled to keep up with more aggressive franchises throughout the 2010s. While they secured AFC North titles and playoff appearances, the lack of investment often limited postseason progress. The arrival of Joe Burrow in 2020 was a turning point, leading the team to the Super Bowl in 2021. However, fans remain cautious, hoping Brown's focus on competitiveness continues. Miami Dolphins owner Stephen Ross has faced criticism for controversial decisions during his tenure. In 2022, former head coach Brian Flores filed a lawsuit claiming Ross encouraged losing during the 2019 season to secure better draft picks, though an NFL investigation found no evidence of financial incentives. Ross has also been criticized for focusing on high-profile signings like Tua Tagovailoa and Tyreek Hill, without achieving consistent results. Critics argue his emphasis on star acquisitions over team cohesion has contributed to the Dolphins' inconsistent performance, frustrating fans. Stan Kroenke, the owner of the Los Angeles Rams, became a controversial figure when he moved the team from St. Louis to Los Angeles, driven largely by financial gain rather than loyalty to the fan base. The relocation sparked outrage among St. Louis fans who felt abandoned after supporting the Rams since their first move in 1995. Kroenke's decision was motivated by the financial potential of the lucrative Los Angeles market and his major investment in SoFi Stadium, a state-of-the-art venue costing over $5 billion. This move left St. Louis without an NFL team and led to protests and legal action, reflecting the tension between financial interests and fan loyalty in sports ownership. Jimmy Haslam, owner of the Cleveland Browns, has faced substantial criticism for his handling of the team, characterized by frequent coaching changes, questionable decisions, and prolonged periods of poor performance. Since acquiring the Browns in 2012, Haslam's tenure has been marked by a revolving door of head coaches and general managers, with 9 different head coaches and several front office shifts. This instability has severely impacted the team's ability to build a foundation for long-term success. One of Haslam's most controversial decisions came in 2022 when the Browns signed quarterback Deshaun Watson to a fully guaranteed $230 million contract. Despite Watson facing multiple allegations of sexual misconduct, the move drew widespread criticism for both its financial risk and the ethical concerns surrounding Watson's off-field issues, raising questions about the team's values and priorities under Haslam's leadership. Compounding these issues, the Browns have endured years of losing seasons, with only a few playoff appearances during Haslam's ownership. This continued underperformance has left fans frustrated and disillusioned, deepening concerns about the direction and decision-making within the franchise. David Tepper, since acquiring the Carolina Panthers in 2018, has faced significant criticism for his management decisions and the team's ongoing struggles. Under his ownership, the Panthers have endured several losing seasons, and his approach to running the franchise, particularly regarding trades and draft picks, has been heavily scrutinized. A key misstep came in 2023 when Tepper traded multiple valuable assets to the Chicago Bears to secure the #1 pick in the NFL draft. The Panthers used the pick to select quarterback Bryce Young over highly regarded C.J. Stroud, a decision that has since been questioned. Young's performance has yet to justify the high cost of the trade, while Stroud's success with the Houston Texans has only intensified criticism of Tepper's decision-making. Tepper also sparked controversy after being caught on video throwing a drink at a fan who criticized him, an incident that further fueled negative perceptions of his ownership and underscored his frustration with the team's poor performance. Overall, Tepper's tenure has been marked by disappointing results on the field and questionable decisions off it, leading to widespread criticism from both fans and analysts. The Detroit Lions under William Clay Ford Sr. serves as a prime example of a highly valuable franchise that consistently underperformed on the field while remaining financially successful. Once an NFL powerhouse in the 1950s, the Lions' decline began after Ford became the principal owner in 1963. Under his ownership, the team recorded a dismal 334 wins, 457 losses, and 15 ties, including the infamous 0-16 season in 2008. Despite boasting legendary talents like Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson, the Lions were unable to win consistently or support their star players, with only one playoff victory since 1957. Ford's emphasis on maintaining profitability, reflected in the franchise's increasing value, often seemed to overshadow efforts to build a competitive team, leaving fans frustrated by the lack of on-field success despite the franchise's financial stability. Shahid Khan has invested significantly in facilities and market expansion for the Jacksonville Jaguars, yet the team has struggled with consistent on-field success. Despite rising franchise value and revenue, the team has endured several poor seasons and limited playoff appearances. Khan has hired 5 head coaches since inheriting Mel Tucker, with Doug Peterson being the only one to achieve a winning record through his first 29 games. As Khan focuses on business ventures, the team's performance remains a point of frustration for fans. This greed-driven approach often alienates loyal fans. When owners prioritize revenue generation over team building, they undermine the competitive spirit that fans cherish. The disconnect between financial goals and on-field success creates a frustrating experience for supporters who invest emotionally and financially in their teams. As a result, fans are left disillusioned, watching their teams underperform while the owners enjoy substantial profits. This dynamic not only affects the current fan experience, but also erodes long-term hope for meaningful change and success. Selling an NFL team is exceptionally challenging due to its high value, which necessitates billions in capital and complex negotiations. The process is further complicated by the need for approval from a majority of league owners and the difficulty of securing financing for such a large transaction. Legal, regulatory, and market conditions add additional layers of complexity. Personal and emotional factors also play a role, as ownership is deeply personal and lucrative. NFL team sales are rare and typically occur under significant external pressures. Scandals or financial troubles often drive these rare transactions. For example, the recent sale of the Washington Commanders in 2023 illustrates this trend. Dan Snyder's ownership faced intense public scrutiny and legal issues, which, despite his reluctance to sell, ultimately forced him to relinquish control. This case highlights how external pressures and controversies can lead to the rare event of an NFL team being sold. NFL fans often struggle to influence ownership changes, leaving them stuck with poor decisions for decades. Efforts like protests and petitions have minimal impact because ownership changes require approval from a majority of current owners. For example, Cincinnati Bengals fans have endured Mike Brown's criticized cost-conscious approach, and Jerry Jones of the Cowboys and Arthur Blank of the Falcons have faced criticism for their management decisions. Despite their frustrations, fans have little power to force a sale or improve their team's fortunes, resulting in prolonged disappointment and ineffective ownership. Poor ownership has a profound impact on a team's culture, often resulting in losing seasons, disengaged players, and frustrated coaches. For example, during Jerry Richardson's time as the Carolina Panthers owner, the franchise struggled with internal discord and inconsistent performance. Allegations of misconduct and a lack of clear direction under Richardson's leadership created a toxic atmosphere that disrupted team cohesion and hindered success. Similarly, the Oakland Raiders, during Al Davis's later years as owner, suffered from frequent turnover and instability. Davis's interference in football operations combined with erratic decision-making led to poor team performance and a lack of direction. This left players disenchanted and coaches frustrated by the constant changes and lack of support, creating a dysfunctional environment that fueled a cycle of losing seasons and demoralization. Successful franchises often demonstrate how strong, stable ownership correlates with on-field success. A prime example is the New England Patriots under Robert Kraft. Since Kraft purchased the team in 1994, the Patriots have become one of the NFL's most successful franchises. His steady leadership allowed for long-term planning and consistent investment in team development, including hiring Bill Belichick as head coach and fostering a winning culture. Kraft's stability provided a foundation for sustained success, including 6 Super Bowl championships and numerous playoff appearances. In contrast, teams with unstable ownership frequently struggle with inconsistent management, leading to frequent coaching changes and disrupted team-building efforts. The Patriots' success illustrates how ownership stability can create an environment conducive to long-term achievements, ensuring that teams can focus on building and maintaining a competitive roster without the distractions and instability that often plague franchises with less consistent leadership. When NFL owners prioritize profit over team success, it creates frustration among fans, players, and coaches. Decisions made for personal gain, rather than building a competitive team, often lead to poor performance, instability, and a weakened team culture. Owners like Jerry Richardson and Mike Brown exemplify how mismanagement and self-interest can limit a team's potential. In contrast, stable and dedicated ownership, such as Robert Kraft with the New England Patriots, shows how strong leadership can drive long-term success and maintain a loyal fan base, highlighting the critical role ownership plays in a team's success. As we wrap up our video on the most hated NFL owners like Dean Spanos and Dan Snyder, and their poor decisions that hurt both their teams and fan bases, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts on which NFL owner you think is the worst and how their leadership has affected your team.